No, I agree. Lots of good stuff going on. We still got a couple races coming up here, a couple races left to show at Oaklawn. Just happy to be here and happy talking about the races with you guys.
Yeah, this next here in New York, this ninth for those just joining us, 6 furlong sprint on the turf. So good to have turf racing back. 50,000 starter allowance in this race. This wide open group here. 4-1 is your favorite. This horse right here, this filly, Missing Link, with Javier Castellano, who will ride.
Well, I think the key with her, she's obviously has a good record on the turf, but those were 5 furlong races. This is 6. It's a very different animal. She does feel like she has speed, but so do horses like the 4 and 12 as well. But Peter Walder is a trainer that has had a lot of success at different times out of town, winning high percentages. He's had no success in New York for years. Suddenly he shipped up a couple of horses the other day. One of them won. One of them just got beat in a photo by a heavy favorite and ran a big race. So maybe his horses are coming here a lot more live. He's bringing up the right horses, I guess. And for that reason, I had picked him second. I liked the 5, Bella Principessa. She scratched, so I scratched into her. But I'll be honest with you, I don't like horses I scratched into, and I don't like her at 7-2.
Meanwhile, this 5-year-old mare, this is the Theodora Grace. She is going to be making her 2022 debut for Tom Albertrani. We're going to go back to September 26th. 2 starts back. She just missed in this race.
If somebody were to say to you, what does it look like when a horse hangs like a chandelier? I needed her for a pick 5. I actually had left the track. I was watching this on my phone walking up Broadway around Midtown. And I was home, right? Just the race was over. And I mean, whoa, did she hang? This is incredible, right?
Oh.
Incredible. It wasn't a tough beat. She should have won it. She had a perfect trip, got a great ride.
She was the 9 outside.
Just couldn't get it. Yeah. Couldn't get it done. But she could win in this race. So could Highway Queen, who doesn't like to win either.
She is, I guess that's why she is 1 for 6 in her career. But
right.
Yeah, that was a brutal beat.
That was really one of the great hang jobs in the history of hang jobs. But doesn't mean she's not good enough to win this race. I think that the number 7, Breeding Press, is a shot to win. It's hard, I think, looking at this race to have a strong opinion on anybody, Greg, don't you think?
No, quite, and that's why the board sort of looks like
right.
It does. I guess a positive thing with Theodora Grace coming off the bench, she did win. Her only victory did come off a layoff, so that should not be a concern. As for Freedom of the Press, Linda Rice, right on the pace last time out. A field she was supposed to be. She was a favorite, short price favorite, and she did get the win to break her maiden.
And this is a horse who finished second behind a very good horse in her debut, and then she lost to 2 good horses in her second start, and things just went wrong for her in her next year. Claimed by various owners with Linda Rice. She won easily in this race, but the competition that day was not strong.
To be kind.
Right, and that is being very kind.
I guess the issue for her is the presence of the 12, right? The other speed, Goddess of Snakes, and the 2.
Right. Yeah, I think the 2's got to go, but I think Goddess of Snakes is going to go as well. I don't like Goddess of Snakes, but I think she has to be aggressive here.
Post-parade coming up, making their way up that walkway to the track, and we're going to start things off with Missing Links, who is still the favorite, 7-2 for Peter Walder.
Yeah, and Peter Walder has had such success shipping horses up, and it feels like he's bringing horses that are very live, and that's why this horse is taking money, and did run against a better horse, Christophe Clement, last time.
12 starts has never gone this far.
Right.
6 furlongs.
And 5 furlongs to 6 furlongs, that's a completely different animal.
Theodora Grace, here is the mare coming off the bench.
It's a good point by you that the horse did run well, come fresh. She's a horse to go in this race. I can't bet her off the hang job, but 6-1's a square price.
Also 6-1 next door on a Highway Queen.
She's another horse that doesn't seem to have a will to win. With 6 starts in the turf, she's run well, but 5 thirds. But she's run fast enough to win this race, and she can be forwardly placed in this race, given the lack of pace.
And we just showed you the win from this filly, Freedom of the Press. That was against, again, a lot softer spot, and now the 4-year-old debut.
Empire Racing Club, part owner of this horse, and we'll see if she runs well off the layoff.
Lady of, is it Thoraton? Chris Engelhardt off the claim.
Yeah, I know. It's not Thornton Mellon. She would have to improve dramatically off her turf races.
Yeah, 3 starts on the grass.
Why
only
is she taking so much money?
An in-the-money finish. Yeah, it's strange.
Right? She's too slow to win this race.
7-1 right now from a 12-1 morning line. Jasmine-esque, Gary Siaka, Eric Cancel.
She's another horse that just looked too slow to me on paper.
Meanwhile, Stella Mars taking money. She was 10-1 morning line, 5-1.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, another horse that just seems like there's so many horses that are faster than her. She does seem to get close, but I didn't think she was quick enough to beat these.
Her 10 starts to break her maiden. She won right back again, and she was very wide, ran okay last start. The Goddess of Snakes, more speed outside.
See, can Trevor try to clear from the outside? We'll see if she can. I'm not thrilled with her chances in this race, but to be fair, the last time she ran in a turf sprint, she was running against better horses. Perhaps.
And well, you got to think they put some, trying to get some serious intent into her with speed. 3 furlong bullet drill in preparation for this start. Let's go back down to Acacia.
And wanted to talk about the 7, Freedom of the Press, as I had mentioned back in the paddock before, that she was late coming in. She was a real handful, very kind of tricky and energetic back down there. And once they tacked her, she settled a bit, but they did still put the shank over her nose, in that giving her handler a lot more control. And she didn't participate in the post parade, instead went off in a big solo warm-up under Jose Lascano, which I like to see for those nervous types. She's a big, bulky type of filly. She looks like she wants to run further than this, which she was early on in her career, but she did win sprinting. If anything, I would say that she would need to tighten up a little bit off the layoff, and she's just so fresh and energetic, but definitely an intriguing prospect who shows that she could handle this distance. I kind of begrudgingly went into the number 4 Highway Queen as far as the pick. I felt that her turf races were so much better, and I've noticed for her that she runs better when she's carrying better weight, and I like the fact that she was freshened up since February. She's pretty small, and sometimes she can really not be a good doer between races. And what she's doing right now, I've seen from her before, out there being a little antsy, swishing her tail, a little bit uncomfortable out on track. So that's kind of a typical of her, but she seems like she's doing well right now and coming in after a freshening, after running pretty consistently through the fall into February. The number 3, Theodora Grace, off of the layoff. She's another one that physically looks like she's actually meant to go a little bit longer than this sprint distance. One thing that I didn't like about her today is she got very hot and kind of agitated. She was really warm under her belly and in her kidneys coming in. And it's not warm out today, I can tell you that much for sure, with that cool breeze. And she has been a little edgy out there on the track. So she looks ready enough coming back, and she has ability. I would just like to see her settled and a little bit more comfortable out there on track, Greg.
All right, Acacia, thank you. 2 minutes to post here coming up. Apprentice Jose Gomez, the pilot here on the 3, making her 5-year-old debut, 9-2 right now.
Yeah, you know, one of the things about apprentices is they don't usually have a lot of experience on the turf, right? They'll spend their time riding here in the winter, and so they don't have that same experience riding on the turf, so it can be a little bit trickier for them. But Jose's obviously a talented rider, but I think it takes sometimes can take a little while just to sort of get acclimated to turf riding.
Especially on a filly, too, that is going to be coming from, I guess if you're on a speed horse on the turf.
Right, no, that's right. If you can get loose in the lead, you know, in theory, you know, it's helpful, but I agree. But listen, I'm sure he'll be fine on it. It's just, it's not a criticism as a rider. I think you see this with apprentices. They just don't have the experience riding on the turf that much. They get so many more mounts in the winter and in dirt races, and so sometimes it's a learning curve.
Meanwhile, this one has remained your favorite pretty much throughout. Missing Link, 4-time winner on the turf, but the distance is the big question. Why can 5 to 6 be so different?
5 is they can just
furlongs
go flying out there, and they can, you know, you see a lot of those really particular 6 furlongs. You can wire the field for sure, but it's a lot more stamina. 5 to 6, you know, it's a big furlong. So I mean, there are plenty of turf sprinters that are very good going the longer distance, but 5 to 6, those 5 furlong races, they're just a lot of different horses sometimes. But obviously, this trainer has had the confidence to bring this horse up.
Well, and it's not going to have to get over to the fence. It's already there. Break clean and try and get some separation here. Javier Castellano, he knows his job on this filly, who has been successful, yes, at shorter distances. She's put together 3 in a row, all on the front end, going 5 furlongs. That was down in South Florida. And you would think, I mean, as you look at the rest of this group, and there's 2 other prime speeds, I guess, that can challenge her.
And she has to go, though. I mean, she has the rail. She has to go. I don't know that you'll see as much speed from the 4. I mean, she theoretically before, but I do think that you'll see the speed from the 12. And, Trevor's going to look at least to get over from the 12. He doesn't want to get hung out there, so she's got to go from out there, I would think. But, I mean, the 2 may be quickest from the inside. We'll see. And, by the way, getting the lead doesn't mean she's going to win anyway. But, obviously, you don't want to get into a blistering duel.
And now down to 3-1.
That's just too low. The 7's taking a lot of money down to 3-1 as well. Freedom of the press.
Jose Lezcano for Linda Rice with the 7. And there's a look at Stella Mars, who had put together back-to-back wins. She was, well, it took her a while to break through and get that first win of her career. 10 starts. Followed it right back with a win. As we go back here to the Linda Rice runner. She's got a lot of questions to answer here.
Yeah, I mean, this is a much, much tougher field than she beat last time. When she won that race, it was towards the end of the turf season. But to be fair, this is a horse that had real talent early in her career, and things went wrong. And, maybe they can find a way to get her back to some of those better races. And if they can, and she did win sprinting, maybe all along she's a horse that wanted to run shorter, but she's a horse that should have been placed first on closing day at Saratoga. It was not a decision I agreed with, not placing her first. And I think most people expected the winner who did foul her in the stretch, foul another horse to get disqualified, but they left her up. It was frustrating because the same connection got disqualified on opening day with Price Talk for committing a similar foul.
And look, she's undefeated sprinting, too. That was the first time she tried a sprint.
Right.
And she got a win, and she did take a move, biggest buyer speed figure she's run in her career. Will this one be able to put some pressure, the Goddess of Snakes, the 12, on the rail run of the 2, Missing Link? Keep your eyes on those 2 early on. That battle up front should be heated. As we get set here for this 9th from Aqueduct, John Imbrial with the call.
Riders off number 7, Freedom of the Press.
Is off the number 7, Freedom of the Press. As I had mentioned, she's been a handful throughout all the preliminaries and was really tough kind of linking back up with the pony, was very exuberant out there on track. He tried to give her a good warm-up, so it looks like what they're going to do is lead her onto the turf course, and he will climb aboard in the gate, and hopefully that will make things go smoother for Freedom of the Press.
All right, Acacia, thank you. And yeah, the 7 already in. There is Jose Lezcano, and he will hop aboard. Just like that. A-OK. And let's go back upstairs to John Imbrial.
Set now for race 9. And a few horses broke through the starting gate. We'll have a delay.
So both the 4 and 7 breaking through the gate. The good news is did not get too far away before, as you see the outrider there with the 4. So we'll wait and see what the decision here is with Highway Queen.
Well, she didn't get very far, so you imagine she'll go back in the gate.
So the jog back to the starting gate. And, wow, for the 7, who was reluctant to go in with Jose Lezcano, he hopped aboard after they loaded her, and then she breaks through the gate. And it's just luckily this wasn't worse of a chain reaction of more breaking through.
And they were right next to each other, the 4 and 7, because both the 5 and 6 are scratched. I don't know if one sort of necessitated the other one or one had something to do with the other one. But you'd have to think there was a relationship. 7's already back in the gate.
Yeah,
those
so
purple silks.
This is Manny Franco, and they're going to lead her right back in. So we will try again. Back to John Imbrial.
And they're off. Slow start for number 8, Lady of Thoroton. A quick start for Missing Link, who is out for the early lead. The Goddess of Snakes on the extreme outside. Highway Queen is a close-up third. Then Theodora Grace, who's racing in 4th. It's 4 lengths. Back to Stella Mars in 5th. Freedom of the Press on the outside in 6th. Lady of Thoroton is now up to 7th. Jasmine-esque is the trailer. Missing Link is the leader here by a length. The Goddess of Snakes. And on the inside, Theodora Grace. Those two are heads apart, 2nd and 3rd. The quarter one in 22 and 3. Highway Queen races in 4th. Missing Link continues to lead. The Goddess of Snakes in 2nd as Theodora Grace drops back at the rail. Passed on the outside by Highway Queen. Then comes Freedom of the Press and Stella Mars. It is Missing Link still in front here. Missing Link is the leader by 2. The Goddess of Snakes, Stella Mars, Theodora Grace trying to get back into it again. Then comes Freedom of the Press. It is Missing Link. Theodora Grace, who had dropped back coming to the top of the stretch, is in front as they come on for the finish. Theodora Grace is the winner. Close for 2nd between the Goddess of Snakes and Missing Link.
That's 6 furlongs getting to Missing Link, perhaps. Theodora Grace off the bench with the apprentice jockey, runs her down.
She was running up on heels behind the leader, Missing Link, down the backstretch, and Jose Gomez had to sort of steady her back, but he managed to keep her in there and keep her so she didn't fall back and get discouraged. And yeah, there's a big difference between 5 furlongs and 6 furlongs, and that's what it was. Source can't get the distance. No big surprise. She wasn't able to hold on, but a nice ride, and she was able to regroup herself and get it done. Coming through. She didn't hang today.
3:12.28. 9-2 on Theodora Grace with the apprentice rider for trainer Tom Albertrani. We're going to go to Oaklawn right now. And this was just moments ago. Race 9, 2-turn mile. Vic Stauffer the call.
Turn with Supremacy, the one to beat. Supremacy has the lead by 2 lengths from Hunka Burning Love in. They're off. Supremacy and Pat's Property, Super Constitution, and Hunka Burning Love. These 4 are quickest. Then comes Hosier and Bandit Swanson, followed by Bryce, and the trailer is Anti-Gravity. Supremacy fastest at the clubhouse turn. He's got a 2-length lead, and he rolls along in front of Pat's Property in 2nd. Hunka Burning Love dives to the inside in front of Hosier, and boy, that was close. Hunka Burning Love made Hosier take up her. He'd have clipped heels. 2 lengths further back to Bryce. Outside of Bryce is Super Constitution. 2.5 back to Bandit Swanson, and the trailer is Anti-Gravity, and the leader is Supremacy. Supremacy, a length and a quarter in front of Pat's Property in 2nd. Hunka Burning Love is now at the rail, and Hunka Burning Love is 3 from the front. It's 2.5 back to Hosier, another 4 to Super Constitution, Anti-Gravity, and Bandit Swanson. Bryce has been pulled up out of the race, and they run into the far turn with Supremacy, the one to beat. Supremacy has the lead by 2 lengths from Hunka Burning Love in 2nd. Pat's Property is all in outside of him in 3rd. Hosier is 4th for Rosario and 4 from the front. Then comes Super Constitution and Bandit Swanson. Anti-Gravity, Supremacy, the one to beat. Top of the stretch, finish line is the 16th pole, and he's got a 2-length lead on Hunka Burning Love in 2nd. Super Constitution has moved through at the rail in 3rd. He's 3 from the front. Hosier outside of him. Supremacy has the lead. Hunka Burning Love is after him now in 2nd. Hosier's in the center. Super Constitution is 2 from the front. Supremacy and Hunka Burning Love. Supremacy, Hunka Burning Love surges right at the wire. Supremacy, Hunka Burning Love. I think Hunka Burning Love beats Supremacy. It's close. Super Constitution 3rd, Hosier 4th.
Tough to call photo finish here in this 9th at Oaklawn. Supremacy for Brad Cox, the one trying to gut it out on the front end. Here comes an 18-time winner to the outside.
Yeah, I have no idea who won this race. The one on the inside was stretching out, trying to get the distance, and Hunka Burning Love has been involved in some photos. I would say the inside, but they do have an outside edge there. I thought the one held on, yeah.
Ricardo Santana Jr. on the inside with Supremacy, and we're being told he indeed did get the nod in here. Supremacy the one. Gutsy effort, holding off Hunka Burning Love. Prices when we come back.
Catholic Boy, one of only 3 American 3-year-old colts in history to win Grade 1s on both dirt and turf, including the immortal Secretariat. A 6-time graded stakes winner from ages 2 to 4, he was the fastest 3-year-old of his crop over 10 furlongs. Now his progeny are bringing top dollar in the sales ring. Dual surface Grade 1 winner Catholic Boy, standing at Claiborne Farm.
Welcome back to America's Day at the Races, brought to you as always by Claiborne Farm. 100 years of doing the usual, unusually well. Race 9 in the books, and it went to the number 3, Theodora Grace, as I'm pleased to be joined by her rider, Jose Gomez. And Jose, I was just telling you, you've got a lot of airtime on the show here as you've been riding really, really well. But I want to hear about this trip with Theodora Grace here. You really had to work for it, and when you got room, she had plenty of horse.
Oh, yeah. She was just taking me the whole way down the backside. I was right on top of the leader, and I'm just holding her, and just trying to wait for an opening. And when she switched her lead, you know, she just went right through that little hole we had right there, and she got it done.
She's a big, solid filly, and she was really fresh coming back today. What did you do to keep her settled prior to the race?
A lot of credit to the pony. Her exercise rider, he had me the whole time. I was just kind of there, you know, trying not to fall off, really, because she was feeling good, very good. And when that little incident happened in the gate, you know, she was really ready to go. But, you know, the gate crew, you know, they handled her well. And when she got out, she came out running. You know, she's a big girl, so she kind of had to really get into her stride. And once she got going, she really, you know, grabbed a hold of the bit. And when it was time to go, she went.
And you and I had just been talking. You had previously been galloping horses in the winter down in Florida. So your first cold winter in a while. And tell me about the adjustment to riding here in New York and how you've really found such a groove here.
I mean, this is where I really started, I want to say. So I guess I just kind of got used to it, you know, just go with the flow, really.
Well, it's been going well for you. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
And his biggest fan, John Atfield, right here as well, Greg.
So great to see the success this young man is having. Of course, we've talked a lot about him being mentored by the great Angel Cordero, and he has taken those lessons to heart and applying them and having tremendous success.
Yeah, no, you have to love the way this kid rides and wins a turf race there. You know, he got up on heels. He didn't panic. He let the horse relax a little behind, and I think he has a very, very bright future.
$11.20 on Theodora Grace, running down the speedster Missing Link. As we take a look at this late pick 5 follow on, $64 to start it. 31 to 1 shot brought home by Trevor McCarthy. Aggregation beating an even money favorite in leg number 2.
And keep in mind, he's a bigger price aggregation because there were a couple of scratches. The money of them went to the favorite.
Yeah, good point.
Hooting Horse was second choice.
Hooting
Horse was second choice. So aggregation is probably more like a $9 horse in the pick 5.
Going to close out the card in New York with the 6-furlong sprint. New York bred allowance optional claiming field. Right, wow, Prince of Pharaohs getting a lot of money right now, as is Bustin' Timberlake for Charlie Baker. We're going to preview next week's big one in the Distaff division at Oaklawn. The champion Latruska and a champion as well in CC. Looking to go head-to-head. Stay with us.
A mesmerizing horse from the very beginning, who captured the imagination of the racing world and proved his potential on the track. A Grade 1 winner, out of a multiple Grade 1 winner, with incomparable looks and an unbeatable pedigree. The speed, the bloodline, the physical. Honor AP. Only at Lane's End.
Who you betting on? How about an app created specifically for horse racing? Naira Bets. We specialize in thundering hooves, fist pumping, and boosting your bankroll with robust weekly promotions. And offer betting tips from actual horse racing experts. Bet all day and night, nationwide. Get the action and thrill of horse racing with Naira Bets.
Cyber Knife, here comes Secret Oath. Cyber Knife, Secret Oath is not gonna get by. The Arkansas Derby winner, Cyber Knife!
From the outside, and here's Kaba getting the upper hand in the final stages. Santa Anita Derby goes to Kaba. Echo Zulu, gun runners on top of the world!
How does horse racing support New York's economy? It's responsible for 19,000 jobs and more than $3 billion in annual statewide economic impact. These good-paying jobs support working families across the state and sustain thousands of small businesses both on and off the track. Horse racing in New York means jobs and opportunities now and in the future. We are New York Horse Racing.
Latruska is back to second. Swiss Skydiver is 2 back in third, and Monomoy Girl has a final furlong to get, but Latruska is battling on bravely. Monomoy Girl a length. Latruska doing her level best. Monomoy Girl, Latruska battling back. Latruska, Monomoy Girl, Latruska!
That was the true coming out party for Latruska and what turned out to be a championship season. And what a performance in this stretch duel with beating a multiple champion, Monomoy Girl.
What a ride by Irad Ortiz as well. And we knew this was exciting, but I don't think we expected it to lead to what we saw in subsequent races, including that just incredible performance in the Personal Ensign. To me, her performance in the Personal Ensign almost got a little lost because of so many great races that day, but my God, I mean.
So many took shots at her that
put
day.
Every speed away, and then she held off every closer. You don't win races like that unless you're good.
She had a really tough campaign, too. And aside from the Breeders' Cup Distaff, when that pace just incinerated on the front end, she still won a championship. She deserved it. Her race coming back, I'm not even going to say it was a paid workout because I think she worked harder in workouts than she did in that Royal Delta. She did that so easily.
I would agree, but I would hope she did because it wasn't a lot of competition. You know, listen, I'm a fan, as you well know, Greg, but it is one thing to put together a year like that. It's an entirely different thing to do it 2 years in a row. I hope she can, but I want to see it.
Well, it's rare to see two champions in the same year coming back to battle each other in a race, and that's what we're looking at here with CC and Latruska. CC, of course, the champion sprint filly. She won the Breeders' Cup Filly and Mare Sprint. Went back to going longer, and it worked out for her in a race where she wasn't completely focused the whole time.
Yeah, no, I mean, she's not a horse that's been successful going long in California, but at Oaklawn, she seems to be terrific going long. It was a funny race because she really did seem like she got disinterested in mid-stretch. It looked like they were going to swallow her up, and then she figured out what was going on, and she just blew by everybody, or held off the closers, I should say. And she won that Apple Blossom during the pandemic with the 14-horse field, and that was just a war. And didn't she break maybe from post 14?
Yeah, I believe she did, actually.
Yeah, so she's a really neat horse, and it is a cool matchup. Latruska's better going longer than she is, but it'll be an interesting matchup.
One of the big events there is in this Distaff division is coming up next weekend. We're going to say goodbye to those watching on FS2. Thanks for being with us, but we're signing off. You can catch the rest of the program for a little bit anyway over on Naira Bets as well. I think we're going to be on YouTube for a small amount of time. I think we are.
It's very hard to figure out. I leave that to you,
week.
Greg.
For those still with us, thanks for sticking around. We have the nightcap from New York ahead and another one coming up from Oaklawn. This one to finish it out here in New York, 6 furlongs. New York bred, allowance optional claiming race. Bustin Timberlake blinkers going on today for a 5-year-old. Pretty consistent for Charlie Baker. 5 wins, 4 seconds, and 15 starts.
And he's ran well last time. My feeling, though, about his last race was that he was involved in a day when speed was dominant, and I think it made him look better in that race. And he got a good scratch with St. Selby coming out. We'll see how aggressive Javier is. Javier Castellano, winner's laugh. Prince of Pharaohs coming out there, he's had an absolute nightmare trip with massive trouble early in the race, and he made a good run in there. I can see Buster Timberlake winning. The scratch of the 2 helped him, but I prefer the 4.
And that's Prince of Pharaohs, who you're looking at right now. 7-2, Jose Lezcano, Linda Rice.
Yeah, I mean, this horse really ran well last time. He broke awkwardly. The door closed on him. He got completely shuffled back to last and made a significant run. His last effort was good, and he's got some good back races to go on. But isn't the wild card in here River Dog? The number 9?
This horse is immensely talented. I mean, that debut
Right.
We haven't seen him come back to it.
No, I mean, I thought he ran well in the Mike Lee, just not as well as he did in his debut. You know, I'm going to give him a pass in the Amsterdam. It was just a torrential downpour that day, but his next race was not good. He's been gelded, and he's in a new barn.
Well, let's head downstairs for more with Acacia.
And talking about River Dog, as they did geld him, and I think that that's something that should really help, as he was always a little bit of a quirky type, that he would really act up quite a bit when trying to put the blinkers on or being saddled. And talking about that Amsterdam in the downpour, there was a delay in the paddock and horses kept in the saddling area, and he was one that day that got really agitated as a result of that. He's grown coming back too now as a 4-year-old. His coat looks tremendous, as it always does, and he looks really strong and really, really fit coming back as well. Last time out watching that race when he finished 3rd back in New York Bred Company, it seemed like it kind of took him a while to get going and get his feet underneath of him. I'm hoping with some time off and now coming back as a gelding, we will get a chance to see some of that brilliance that we saw towards the start of his career. The number 4, Prince of Pharaohs. He's a big, solid son of American Pharaoh. He's always one that looks like he's carrying some extra condition, but that's just how he is. He's really a very, very good doer. And he mentioned the trouble that he had last time out. The front wraps do stay on that he wore last time as well, but he's handled himself well. He's striding out nicely in the paddock here. And I actually like him sticking at the 6 furlongs. I always thought a little bit shorter was better for him. While he has some good size and substance to him, he's very much a rounded type of individual, and he's very powerful in his hindquarters. So hopefully he's able to get an easier start. He's very relaxed and laid back in the paddock right now, but once again, that's typical of Prince of Pharaohs. And hopefully we'll be able to get a better break and into the race a little bit earlier on. Greg?
All right, Acacia, thank you. 5-2 now on River Dog, along with the 8, Bustin' Timberlake. But the ceiling was so high for River Dog off that debut last spring at Belmont, and even after start number 2, when he beat Market Alert and Lobster, who has gone on to have a stakes win in his career.
No, I agree. I mean, there was every reason to think it wasn't ridiculous to take a shot at a race like the Amsterdam. He was only 7-1 that day against good horses in there. Jackie's Word, Raina Clark, Crowded Trade, who almost won the Gotham, and he just didn't show up. He's been gelded. He's in a new barn. He won his first race fresh, so we know he can win well fresh. This is the Mike Lee, his 2nd career start. But horses like this, it's just, you don't know what to do. I mean, there's something that says to you, the horse is like 3-1, 5-2. Well, he runs his race, going to win. But how do you trust him?
Would love to see him get back to at least a semblance of what we saw in those first couple of starts. As we've talked about, gelded. This horse still the favorite now, Bustin' Timberlake.
I think the connections are pretty optimistic with him, and I can understand why. He got a big scratch, the 2.
With the 9 you're talking about?
Yeah, but for St. Shelby, if people are wondering why he scratched, he's entered a turf race here on Thursday. So he's entered consecutive days. He has to scratch. He's in part of a turf race on Thursday's card. I guess Rob Adams wanted to try him on the grass. And I can't blame him in some ways in the sense that he was in a tough spot to win this race. So I guess Rob will try something new. The other thing about running a horse like him on the turf this time of the year, if he doesn't run well on the turf, you got the whole year to run him in dirt races. But if they can handle the turf, we got a lot of turf sprinting in New York. So why not take advantage of the opportunity?
And the name is escaping me, but I'm trying to figure out the turf experiment with a horse who we all question.
Oh, still waiting this winter. The turf horse around the dirt, still waiting. It ran 2nd in the Distaff last week. Absolutely. And I mean, sometimes you have to, when you have a turf horse, you take a shot in the winter and try him on the dirt. In this case, it's the beginning of the year. Try him on the turf. Get it out of the way. If they can't run on the turf, then you can just run him on the dirt. Answer the questions. Check the boxes.
7 minutes to post here in this nightcap. Let's look at Prince of Pharaohs. That horse right there. The 4 for Linda Rice. 7-2 right now in this beginning that did not go well.
No, this was an absolute nightmare, especially on a track that day that was favoring horses that were forward. He didn't break particularly badly, but the door got shut on him. We'll show you the head on, and you can see it better. And now he ends up getting shuffled all the way back towards last year, and you watch the head on, you can see exactly what happened. He breaks okay, but then the door shuts. There, you see him bounced around between horses, and then watch again. They're going to shut on him again. And that's, I don't know, Greg, that's not good.
No, it is not. And it shows you how roughly run these races can be early on.
And he was the only horse that made any kind of run in there. He finished 4th, beating only 6 lengths. You can imagine with a clean trip on a fair racetrack, he'd have won. So I think there are reasons to be optimistic. And the other thing was that race was coming off a bit of a freshening, and he kind of turned things around. And it's not like he is a horse that he's run some good races in the past. Interesting race, another player.
And he used to be pretty quick.
That's
he's usually much more forward.
That's the thing, right. If he breaks well in here, I'm not saying he's going to be a lead, nor are you, but he can be close. He doesn't figure to be coming from 8th. It's a good point.
Post-parade, we're going to see the entry here first. Winner's Laugh is the first part of that entry is going to get post 2 for Horatio de Paz.
Isn't he kind of like River Dog Jr.? He started his career out with an 87 buyer, looked terrific, had trouble to start in a stake, won his next start. He's another. I have to think that Javier's going in this race. I think he's going to be forward.
Yeah, he is quick.
And he also helps his entry
inside.
mate, right? If he goes, because he's a closer.
Yeah, good 1-2 point. This horse comes from far out of it, his entry mate. He has the outside post.
Yeah, he's not as good, but he could benefit if the pace gets hot.
Brew Pub, 2 for 23 lifetime.
One of those horses, right, Greg? He didn't win his main race, his 21st start. What did he do? He came right back and won. But this is a tougher spot.
Both wins for him came on a sloppy racetrack as well. Prince of Pharaohs, who we talked about, he's 7-2. Linda Rice, that poor beginning last time.
Hopefully a better break today and gets a fairer chance.
Jose Lizcano will be aboard. Running with Scissors at 12-1. Jeffrey Engelhardt, another one with speed.
Yeah, the problem is just, I mean, this was the only horse involved in the pace last time and didn't run well because all the other speeds sort of held on. His form just is falling apart. Good name, though.
He was running against some good. He ran against Aloha West, Breeders' Cup Sprint winner. Bustin Timberlake, 2-1. Dylan Davis.
The blinkers on. You know what they're going to try to do. They're going to try to wire the field, and they very well might.
Can he find that early form, River Dog? If he can, everyone else is in trouble.
Yeah, no, he can, and he is the wild card, and you know, it feels like if somebody wins this race by 4 lengths, it's going to be him, doesn't it?
Yeah. First with the Kelly Breen barn. Tapazirance the 10. Jose Gomez for Linda Rice.
Yeah, he's actually a fringe type player, but I just think there's too many horses that are faster.
He makes a nice appearance, and then. Well, that's our group. We're going to quickly check in at Oaklawn for their nightcap and then get you back here to New York. Oaklawn's going to close out their program, mile and a 16th. Maiden special weight group. Everyone looking for the first win on their resume here in this off track on this Saturday card.
I'm betting this race, Greg. And I'm going to tell people who I'm betting.
Are you going to
I'm going to tell them.
You
can't listen. I'm betting the 3 Battle Call. This horse got a ridiculous wide trip last time out. I think ran very well off the claim for Jerry Hollendorfer.
Beat by a horse who ran in the Lexington.
Here. Yes. Run being the operative word, I guess. Or
yeah. Fast and feminine starts things off. Blinkers off.
She may be feminine, but so far, she's not fast.
Not at all. El Jamar at 9-2.
I just don't think this horse wants to go long. I mean, this horse made a big move last time and then flattened out. I'm not sure why Danny Pites wants to go even longer with him.
So here's Battle Call, 4-1.
I like him off his last race, blinkers on, right to the front.
Bullet drill leading into this spot, too. Vajano, Nick Zito sends out.
Always look to see my man Nick Zito do well. In fairness to him, this horse really improved last time out.
Smoky Story, big number with an equipment change, blinkers on.
Well, if you like him, you're hoping he improves stretching out from a sprint to a route.
A Protonico. Sire Medina Spirit.
There aren't a lot of Protonicos. They're like precious gems out there. Kunshan Bridge, 8-1 in the debut, though. Did take a little money.
Yeah, start number 2, sprinted in the debut. Life on the Nile, Jerry Hollendorfer. This horse ran against Ethereal Road and had the lead in the stretch in that race.
It's hard to see Jerry Hollendorfer, who trains both speeds, have them dueling out there. We'll see which one has the front.
Best actress, the first-time starter. The Grand Dam was multiple Grade 1 winner Spun Sugar.
First-time stars in dirt routes. Brad Cox is 9 for 67, 13% and a 79 ROI. But you're right, Spun Sugar, the second dam.
And won the Apple Blossom.
Yep.
Bon Chéri.
That was boning up your French. You going to France? You really got that.
Did I get it right?
Yeah.
44-1 first time
Well,
out.
no, that would be Bon Cher. I don't.
Yeah.
So, no, you didn't.
And thank you. Cheleno, Steve Asmussen, Joel Rosario, and Winchell Thoroughbreds.
I bet this horse last time had no excuse to lose, and now he's got to overcome the outside post.
All right, back to New York and getting set to load here for this finale. Let's head downstairs to Acacia.
And quickly wanted to touch on some of the warm-ups with the potential speed horses as far as Bustin Timberlake putting those blinkers on. He was fine back in the paddock, but he really came to life coming back onto the track and got a pretty exuberant warm-up out there under Dylan Davis. It looks like the intent is to be aggressive with him. It's a very, very short cup blinker, a cheater cup that's added on. It sometimes just adds a little bit more focus, particularly to a horse like him who's been in the money in his last couple of starts. Now they plain won winner's laugh. What do we get with him today? He broke running last time out, but he was just in a full-out drive pretty much throughout the whole race, and it seemed that Jose Lezcano really just protected him after that. Physically, he looks much like he did at the start of his career. His coat looks terrific. He's a little bit more of a stretchier type of individual in that he's rather angular. He's a little bit longer in his frame. It physically looks like 7 furlongs to a mile would be the best game for him. However, sprinting here, I wonder if it's just a case where he has some brilliant early speed and maybe he's just not able to sustain it anymore. Can he get back to the precocity? He stacks up well in here. I just find him very hard to trust and was kept rather quiet out on track under Javier Castellano. Greg.
All right, thank you, Acacia. I'm going to get set to break from the gate here momentarily. 9-5. Price getting shorter on Bustin Timberlake for Charlie Baker with Dylan Davis.
Yeah, they love speed. They love speed. I get it. I don't think he's impossible. Like we said, the scratch the 2 was a good one for him. He's been a neat horse for a long time. I know the connections are hoping he runs well today, and why shouldn't they? I just prefer other horses in this race, but I'm not going to be surprised when I end up being wrong. Picked him 3rd.
So 4s for both Andy and Acacia. Prince of Pharaohs. Major excuse last time out.
Yeah. I'm hoping he can break cleanly today and not get himself in trouble. And I don't think the break, the trouble at the start was not his fault. That's the thing. It's not that he got left or he broke badly. He got sawed off. So hopefully that won't happen again.
That was his only opportunity trying 6 furlongs, so trying to do it again. He showed competitiveness against, it's a good group. He went 7/8 against Gold Panda, Big Bobby.
Mm-hmm.
He set the pace in that race.
At times, he's run some very nice races. He's been a little bit of an in-and-outer. I thought his last race suggested perhaps a return to form for him. Hopefully that'll work out.
So 4-1 on the Son of American Pharaoh. Here's Brewpub coming out of a stakes race against Water's Edge and Chestertown. They stretched him out, and they're going to go back to sprinting where he'd won. Look, his last 2 at 6 furlongs he won, but again, those were both on-off tracks.
Yeah.
And this is tougher company, no question.
This is a tough spot. I mean, this really also shows you the real difference, especially even the New York breds, the difference between non-winners of 1 and non-winners of 2. Right? The non-winners of 1, you get a lot of horses who've had a lot of chances. These are some hardened veterans in here, and you throw in the optional claiming tag, and this is a very salty bunch.
Well, you got. What price is the 6 at? He's a 10-time winner of over $340,000.
Right.
Here he is.
His form has declined a little bit, but I agree.
Still ability. He won basically at this level. Yeah, 3 back. What will we get from the 9 River Dog? That's one of the biggest questions in this race coming up. Nightcap from New York. We still have the nightcap from Oaklawn Park to come. Let's go upstairs. John Imbrial, the call.
There in the gate. And they're off. It is Bustin' Timberlake along with River Dog. River Dog, Bustin' Timberlake. Winner's Laugh is down at the rail. Running with Scissors is up close in fourth. Tapazirance on the outside in fifth. It's 3 lengths to Prince of Pharaohs and Brew Pub, and another 5 back to Our Man Mike, who trails the field in eighth. It is Bustin' Timberlake by a head. River Dog on the outside in second, opening quarter mile in 22 seconds. Bustin' Timberlake and River Dog, and the two of them are right together. They've opened up 4.5 lengths on Tapazirance in third. Running with Scissors in between horses. Winner's Laugh is down at the rail. Then comes Prince of Pharaohs, Brew Pub, and Our Man Mike. They head for home. It's River Dog on the outside and Bustin' Timberlake on the inside. They remain right together as they come down for the 8th pole. River Dog narrowly. Bustin' Timberlake continues to battle on. Prince of Pharaohs has moved into third. It's River Dog with the lead and a 16th to the finish. It's River Dog to take the nightcap here. River Dog the winner by a length and a half. Bustin' Timberlake was second, then Prince of Pharaohs in third.
River Dog back to his early form. They went 44-3 for the half mile, and he's still able to finish.
Yeah, no, he ran very well today and back. I think I'm not saying he ran the same 97 buyer he ran his debut, but he had that speed and he just nice horse put him away. Bustin' Timberlake went well to be second. Prince of Pharaohs in this racetrack, a little tough to drop that far back the way he did. He was sort of in contention and he just sort of dropped out. Made a nice run, but couldn't catch the front two.
5-2, second choice to close out this card here at Aqueduct. River Dog, so impressive those first 2 starts of his career, including a stakes win in the Mike Lee and a second chance at this condition. First time with a new barn, and he delivers.
Yeah, no, it's nice to see him get back there. I think we saw nice performance from all 4 of the top.
All right, loading up at Oaklawn for the finale on their Saturday afternoon card. And it is Battle Call the 3 for Andy Serling, 3-1.
Yeah, I bet a few dollars in this horse. We'll see how it works out. I'm hoping that he's the controlling speed, but we'll see. It's interesting with Hollendorfer having the 2 potential speeds. We'll see if the Zito runner shows some speed.
And the 7, that other Hollander, it seems like he has to go, doesn't it?
Well, he just wonder, is the same trainer going to go gunning after each other? What about the Zito horse, Vigano? That horse showed some speed last time. Will they show some speed again today? Nick likes to send them.
Vic Stoffer the call. Here's the 10th from Oaklawn.
They're at the post. They're off. Fast and Feminine, Life on the Nile, and first-time starter Best Actor. And there goes Best Actor to take the lead. Vigano comes away running in fourth. Then Smoky Story and Chileno, followed by El Jamar and Battle Call. Kunshan Bridge is second to last, and the trailer is Buncher. It is Best Actor to the backstretch in front of Life on the Nile. Best Actor a length in front. Life on the Nile is second, 2 lengths to Smoky Story. Chileno running up 3 wide outside of Vigano and Fast and Feminine, the filly. Battle Call is midfield. He's the gray with the white blinkers and about 6 from the front. 2 in front of Kunshan Bridge and El Jamar. And then 3 lengths last to the trailer Boncher as they head up the backstretch, and Life on the Nile comes to put pressure on Best Actor. Best Actor a neck in front. Life on the Nile is turning up the heat, and these two have sprinted 6 lengths clear of Smoky Story. Vigano moves through at the rail, could get into third soon. 2.5 to Chileno. Battle Call has 10 to make up now. Kunshan Bridge and El Jamar are next. Fast and Feminine has dropped out, and Boncher is the trailer. And look at these two guys match racing around the far turn. It is Best Actor and Life on the Nile, and they are going toe-to-toe to the quarter pole. It is 7 lengths back to Chileno. Then comes Kunshan Bridge, who passes Vigano top of the stretch. Life on the Nile and Best Actor. Life on the Nile and neck in front. Best Actor is second. It's now only 4 back to Chileno, who is coming on. He's got forward momentum. Kunshan Bridge and Battle Call. It is Best Actor and Life on the Nile. Best Actor retakes the lead because Life on the Nile's on his left lead. Best Actor, Life on the Nile, Chileno third. How about this first-time starter? Best Actor in front. Best Actor beat Life on the Nile, a length and a half. Chileno was third. Kunshan Bridge finished fourth.
First-time starter, we mentioned the Grand Dam, a multiple Grade 1 winner, out-dueling the much more experienced Life on the Nile for the win.
Yeah, it was a game performance. I mean, they went quick out there. but nobody was really able to make any kind of effective close. I haven't seen enough of their racing to know if speed had been deadly during the day. It didn't seem like, from what we saw, it had been a huge advantage, but I really haven't seen enough. It's a game performance. And I guess Brad Cox is now 10 for 68 with first-time stars going dirt routes. This is a purchase by Gary Mary West.
Preakness?
Yeah, probably not, but you never know.
And my apologies, I kept saying finale. It's our finale. The Grade 3 Count Fleet, of course, still to come. We'll be off the air by that time, but you will be able to watch it on Naira Bets. So get that app if you do not already have it. We have more show coming up. Quick break. Yes?
Are you saying that there's life goes on when we're not on the air?
I didn't think so, but apparently it does.
Nonsense.
We'll be back. Quick timeout. Stay with us. Another segment coming up.
Idol perfectly timed. Idol gets up under Joel Rosario to win the big cap. It's known agenda for St. Elias Stable.
Race and the race, scintillating performance in the TVG Delmar debutante.
And Clariere will win the cotillion.
Down to the wire. Who's going to win it? It's Mala by a neck.
Curling, the classic sire.
Back on America's Day at the Races. Program brought to you by America's Best Racing. For the love of the race, visit americasbestracing.net today.
Nice shot, by the way. Nice shot.
That was a beautiful
Lady
shot
Liberty.
right there, Lady Liberty. River Dog. Well, just glad to see this horse back after how much ability he showed his first couple of starts.
I agree very much with that, Greg. I think it's listen, it wasn't a winning result for me. I wish the 4 could at least gotten second, but happy that this horse ran well because he's obviously got talent, but that can go either way. And racing, a lot of times it goes the other way. They have that talent and just sort of fall apart. And I think this is a precursor, hopefully, to him being able to step forward and continue to run in some bigger races in the York Breds.
4-year-old debut, a winning one with, first with a new barn for Kelly Breen. Jorge Vargas Jr. aboard for the win, Bustin' Timberlake. Second in Prince of Pharaoh's third, 9.84 in the finale from New York.
How about Jorge Vargas winning that 33-1 shot earlier today for my friend Steve Christ, getting that win. Great ride on that horse, by the way.
8,997. That was Thin White Duke, by the way.
That's right. Who was named? That's David Bowie, right?
Yes. Nice pick 5 in New York. How about this first-time starter? On the inside, in the silks of Gary Mary West, those fluorescent pink, out-dueling a horse making his 6th career start who showed ability. Big pedigree and runs to it.
Coming back on to get the win. I know nobody closed, but maybe they're just the best 2 horses in the race. I'm going to give my horse another chance, Battle Call. He didn't break. He got shuffled back to nowhere. I'm going to give him another chance in a dry track. But this horse, nice performance.
Flatter.
I like Ricardo saying that. I'm hoping he doesn't catch Cabrera. for the rider type.
Yeah, I'm with you.
I almost feel like Ricardo probably kind of hopes that, you know what I'm sure he hopes he wins it because he wants to keep winning more races. But in a lot of ways, Cabrera's having such a great meet. You hate to see him lose it that way. But Ricardo's
Cabrera injured a week ago Friday and is not going to be able to return for the remainder of the meet. The great news with David Cabrera, not required surgery for his injury, so that's good news. Grade 3 Count Fleet champion returning. Jackie's Warrior, the reigning sprint champ, 1-9, brilliantly fast. And he will fight like anybody in this game to win. He is special in this showdown with Bob's Edge coming up.
And when you look at his losses, you know, one of them he should have won. During the clock, I think he fouled him. During the clock, during the clock, fouled him. He should have won. And then the Breeders' Cup. But he's not flawless, but he's pretty darn close, especially sprinting. And it's my top choice, Greg. Spoke him out.
1-9, you
right
like
on
him?
top. Right on top.
Just fun to see horses that are this good come back. I mean, and he, again, we'll wait and see how he comes back. He's coming off a bone chip surgery, but he is the horse to beat again in the division until someone knocks him off his perch.
Couldn't agree more.
Be fun to watch. Again, you can see that Grade 3 Count Fleet reigning sprint champ, Jackie's Warrior, and Bob's Edge going head-to-head on the Naira Bets app. We are back next Thursday. We'll see you on FS2 at 1 Eastern start time. Plum Ali with the victory in her 4-year-old debut in that Plenty of Grace. Jackie's Warrior, the champ. What will he do in the Count Fleet in his 4-year-old return to the races, the reigning sprint champion? The comeback race for him, for Steve Asmussen, dueling with Bob's Edge. We'll see you next Thursday at 1 Eastern.
Start spreading the news. If you're looking to win in New York, then breed in New York. To War Dancer, the millionaire son of Warfront, and New York's #1 sire of 3-year-olds. Breed to a proven performer, the #1 second crop sire at the Saratoga meet with multiple winners at Belmont and Aqueduct. Earn double the New York Breeders' Awards and participate in the New York Stallion Series with $2 million in purses. War Dancer, proud to stand in New York.